Oh, today I wanted to discuss the word is a two-edged sword. When is the word applicable? And judgment. And we're going to look at Hebrews 4:12. And let's quickly turn to that. Okay, let's look at our books. We've got the Tanakh, the Septuagint. We have the New World Translation, my cat has torn up, the King James Bible 1989, and the newest translation. Hebrews 4:12 says, "The word of God is living and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, a discerner of thoughts and intents of the heart." So when I first heard this, I'm like, that's pretty powerful. The word is a two-edged sword. My goodness. Well, what do we do with that word? And there's been some instances in the media and things like that. Like, is it applicable for politics? And, you get up there and they have all these endorsements. And basically, it routed me back to my first topic, judgment. And basically, Matthew 7:1, judge lest thee not be judged. So you have to kind of think of that concept. But what was interesting is that as I looked further, I found Revelation 1:6. And it was saying, coming out of his mouth was a sharp double-edged sword. And this is talking about Jesus. And this is that whole judgment concept, like the word is alive. And it exposes true intentions. Back up here, 4:12, the word of God is alive. And so if you look at the footnotes in the New World Translation, 1 Thessalonians 2:13, the word of God is at work in you believers. And all of the other Bibles concur, except the Tanakh and the Septuagint. There is no New Testament. And so I wanted to take it a little further because, that two-edged sword, like, geez, if you go to use it, is it going to cut you in the And basically it's telling us the word is alive. So that was the end of the footnotes for Hebrews 4:12, but it routes us later on. We read John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was a God. Now that is what the New World Translation says. But here is a big difference, and this is going to go into another discussion later, but I wanted to show you guys this. The King James Bible, the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That's a very different thing. Was a God, was God. And again, we're not going to get into that, but I just want to highlight that's going to be the next discussion. But basically now the word is alive. So we have the word with God, and the word was a God, was God. John 1:14. Let's go down here. And the word became flesh, the only begotten of the Father. If you look at the New World Translation, the only begotten Son. They're talking about Jesus. This is Jesus. Jesus the Son and God the Father. And so it's alive. Revelation 19:13. He is called by the name, the Word of God. Both of those concur. The only discrepancy is in John 1:1, and we are going to look at that later. But that was something that I found when I first started reading early on, was that the Word is Jesus. And then I tied it into, the Word of God is alive. Makes sense. The footnotes lead you, stop at 1 Thessalonians 2:13, but then it was interesting to find these scriptures and that Jesus is the Word. So I will leave you with that today. And let's see if I wanted to, here's my cherry pick that has been all month. Psalm 119:55, during the night I remember your name, O Jehovah, so that I may keep your law. And again, I like to look at all of the differences. We've added a fifth Bible, the newest translation of the King James Bible. And they do all concur, with the exception that the New World Translation will say Jehovah. Jehovah does appear in the King James Bible, the older version as well. But here, most of the Tanakh and the King James Bible will say Lord, O Lord. Sometimes you will see El Shaddai in the Tanakh, and the Septuagint does say, O Lord. So it's interesting. I haven't fully read the Septuagint, but we're getting there to see if Jehovah does appear in that Bible as well. But again, these are just things that I wanted to look at and leave you with. And so thank you very much, and stay tuned for our next Bible session, Bible review, and it will be on whether or not the Living Word goes on and on and on. Thank you.